Hello Pisces! Welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of April 16th through 22nd. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I'm providing. Okay? Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here you are as a Four of Cups. Let's analyze that a little bit, shall we? We're going to do our Dove and Serpent spread. And as I do this, I want to just say that if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments. Okay. All right, finishing up here, a lot of good energy, a lot of good major arcana, a lot of good elemental energies. We've got a court card, a couple of court cards here that might be significant. Let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. And we're going to leave this off to the side here. We're not going to look at it. Oops. We're not going to look at it until the very end. We'll see if it'll tie everything together. So I would appreciate it if you stuck around to the end and we can see what that card is together. Okay. So we've got earth, we've got fire, we've got water, major. We've got water, major, major, fire. So pretty good balance of energy, except we're not seeing a lot of air. We've got that Fool energy though. The Fool energy is pure air. So I feel like we don't really need a lot of the air cards, the Suit of Swords, because we have that Fool energy. The Fool energy is a clean slate. It's kind of an open possibilities. It's air that's just so expansive that it's not yet defined. It's not yet concentrated into a focal point. It's not yet any particular swords card, right? It's the zero. It's not yet defined. We'll see if we can get a little bit more into that energy as we get through these cards. But first thing I want to talk about is this Four of Cups. I think you're somebody who is, you've been through a lot in your life. I think that you've overcome a lot of struggles, a lot of adversity even, you know? I feel like you're someone who could be really, really proud of themselves for what you've accomplished, for what you've overcome. Okay, I'm feeling this energy now that you're in a very safe place right now. Okay, I feel like your safety is something that you've had to really work hard on. I feel like it was hard won, this safety and security that you have. Not so much a physical security, but an energetic, spiritual, emotional security. Okay? And I feel like this Four of Cups now, it's like you're good where you're at. You don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to mess this up. You finally feel good, and you want to keep it that way. And I don't blame you for that. So I feel like your security, your safety, your emotional well-being is top priority. And I think for any loved ones that may be around you, I'm getting a bit of a vision of a child, but I don't see the child as being with you right now. But there's this connection to a little one, okay, and I don't know yet where that's coming from. But I feel like your ultimate goal is to have this safety, this security, this emotional health and well-being, and you've earned it. You've worked very hard for it. We see in the recent past this 10 of Wands, okay? And this, to me, this feels like a situation that you had to get out of, almost an oppressive situation, okay? Now, this is sort of feeling like a love relationship, a romantic relationship that was not very healthy, let's say. Okay. With the 10 here, I feel like a lot of the burden of it was on you. You know, I feel like you were maybe responsible for doing everything. You were responsible for maintaining the other person's like good mood. You know, you were responsible for all the physical activities, housework and all, making money and everything. I feel like you had so much weight on your shoulders that it felt like you were being kind of crushed. Okay, I'm getting this back kind of being bent over with the weight of this stuff. And I feel like it was just a very heavy situation in the sense that you weren't encouraged to make your own decisions. You weren't encouraged to direct your own energies. Okay? It's like you had to be responsible for someone else's energies and how they were directing it, and you were there in a supportive role, right? I feel that this is something that you're getting away from. Okay? And I'm happy that you're getting away from this. Because this to me feels like a partnership with somebody that is just bringing out these, it's almost bringing out the worst qualities in the other person, right? Because there's so much, now they're directing all of this fire, all of this heat, all of this emotional energy toward you. And to me, it feels very manipulative. It feels controlling almost, right? So I'm thinking we're getting out of this thing, okay? We're getting out of that because what I see now in the present is this Four of Cups. You've achieved this degree of safety, security, mental rest, well-being. You know, I feel like you're in a place now where you're able to breathe, you're able to heal, you're able to kind of restore yourself, you know? The alternative here, though, that I do want to mention because I feel I just kind of got a flash of this. I don't know how accurate this is going to be. This is just right off the spirit here. I feel like there was a sickness or an illness recently, and you're recovering from that right now. Okay, it could be both of these things are taking place at the same time. Maybe the illness isn't your illness, but I feel that there's an illness close to you that is being recovered from. Right? That's being, there's some healing going on. Now, my original thought was that this is an emotional healing. And I still think this is kind of the most appropriate way for this energy to go, for me to interpret these messages. But it could be a physical thing too, because the Ten of Wands sometimes is talking about our vitality, our health almost, right? Being just spread so thin, you know, that we end up, you know, with a cold or a flu or a virus or something. But I feel like there is health coming. There is this restoration happening. And especially with this Sun card. Now, this, I'm feeling there are two layers. Maybe there are two different readings here. Okay? And I want to just say that. I mean, you're Pisces, you're the, you know, the fish. So I'm not sure who's chasing who here, right? And we've got this little Pisces thing here with the two fish. And so that is kind of giving me this weird feeling that I'm giving two separate readings at the same time. You know, it's rather strange. But the Sun card crosses this. Now the Sun card could be the return to perfect health and vitality. Okay? If there was an illness going on, you need to rest and recuperate and restore your health, and your health is returning in this vibrant, just extraordinary way. Perfect health and strength and energy. It's like you're going to be a kid again. Okay? In terms of this relationship, though, I feel like the relationship was such an oppressive thing that you weren't able to really shine your light, you know? That you were there, like I said, in a supporting role to this other person. And now that you've gotten away from that, you have to restore your emotions, you have to heal emotionally and rest, recuperate, so that you can shine your light, so that you can be the radiant person that you are. You can be confident and outgoing and cheerful and in control of yourself, of your life, of your path, of your daily activities, really. That you are beholden to no one but your own self, your own soul, your own will. Okay? And now I think the readings may be, these two readings may be converging together again. Because I do see this Ace of Discs at the top of the Path of the Dove. I think that this is this connection with this child that I'm feeling. I'm still getting this sense of there's some kind of a child, a little one somewhere here. And I feel like that's your goal. I don't know if it's about reconnecting with this child or having a better relationship with them or making them your focus. It's at the top of the Path of the Dove, this child. So this is kind of like what this is all about, right? This is your goal, your aspiration. This is what's always first and foremost in your mind, is this child. And, you know, that could be, it could be an adult child, it could be a young child. But there's something with them that they're central to this thing right now. And that's kind of what you're focused on, is this child, and maybe the relationship with them, or providing for them, or being more present for them, something along those lines, okay? So this is something that you're aspiring to. This is what is really kind of sustaining you. This is what is, that's what you're working toward, let's say, right? That's what you're hoping to accomplish. Now, directly beneath that, we see some more fire energy. This is that Seven of Wands. It's kind of like the Ten of Wands in the sense that this was two people against the world, right? It turns out that this dynamic between these two people was very unhealthy. And that created perhaps a codependence, and the sense that we can't function against the world without this other person. You see, it's these two people in the foreground, and these other wands, these 8 other wands in the background, right? So it's these two codependents against the world, right? But now it's just kind of like this is 7. It's just one single wand against the rest of the world. And you against the rest of the world, you kind of feel like this wooden staff here in the middle. You feel like you're not strong enough to defeat the entire world, right? The odds are stacked way, way, way against you, right? But does it have to be us against the world? Why are we trying to defeat the whole world? The whole world is not our enemy, right? So this is not so much about pushing through despite the odds, learning to be independent and fighting on your own. You don't need to be codependent with this person over here. You could do this yourself. Yeah, I mean, that's the message. But let's take it one step further and say, why do we need to be in this fight anyway? Why do we view it as us against the world? I think it's because of the codependent relationship from the past, where that other person created this codependence, created this dynamic of fighting against the entire world to keep that codependence intact, right? If you and I are at odds against the rest of the world, well then, the only people we can trust or rely on, the only people that we need, are each other. So it's reinforcing that codependence by creating this illusory battle between the entire universe, right? So this is saying that the odds are stacked against you. This is saying that this new life that you're embarking on is going to be a challenge, yeah. But I don't think we should look at it as everyone around us being our enemy. I think we can change that and say everyone around us is a potential ally. Okay? Potential ally. I'm not saying put your guard down and be open and vulnerable to more of that Ten of Wands energy. But if we go around if we go around looking for a fight, we're going to find one. If you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Okay? In the immediate future, we've got this rather calm, assertive, successful person. This is someone who's now becoming comfortable with this independence. Right? This is someone who, it may not be party time every day, but we're easing into it, right? We're getting our stuff done, we're taking care of our responsibilities, and each day we're feeling a little bit more confident about it. And we're starting to really look toward the future. We're starting to see that the future is open, that there are a lot of possibilities, that there are many things that we can do with our lives, many directions that we can take. There is still a lot more earth to explore. Still a lot more things for you to accomplish. So I think this earth energy is really significant for you in terms of being independent, being self-reliant, getting away from this negative fire energy and easing into this kind of self-leadership, And that's leading us right here to this Two of Cups, this love energy. Now we have the Two, right? We have in the Ten of Wands, we have the Two. These are the codependent Two against the world. Are these two codependent as well? I think this new approach to love, new approach to, let's say, relationships or, partnerships, is not built on codependence or us against the world, but on interdependence. Right? Interdependence. Codependence, again, codependence has its roots in this this animosity, this being against the rest of the world. You and I against everyone, right? That's at the root of codependence. That you can't function in the world without me, and together we can function against the rest of the world. So it keeps the dynamic alive and keeps it intact. Well, with interdependence here, this is kind of two people who are drawing from the same well, the same fountain, and that's love. That's harmony. That's this possibility that, again, the possibility that everyone else in the world is a potential ally, right? We're choosing to draw from the well of love and support and nurturing, nourishment, affection, compassion, rather than animosity, enmity, and adversarialism. I don't know if that's a word. So it's different, right? It's still talking about a dynamic, a partnership, but now with two people who are really in a different mindset than this Ten of Wands is. And Wands and Cups, right? Fire and water, they're complete opposites. They do not get along. In the Eastern philosophy, they don't clash and produce steam. They just both go opposite ways. They just, they just move in completely different directions. They don't want to be near each other, right? One flows up, one flows down. That's it. And never the twain shall meet. So this is a complete 180 from the type of relationship that you're used to. Now, I'm not saying that you're getting right into a relationship or that you're jumping into things haphazardly. No, because we have the Hermit energy in your environment. This is still a lot of focus that needs to be done on self, a lot of internal work, right? You're doing the external work with these Earth energy cards. Oops, let's put them back where they belong. And with this is also some Earth energy. This is the Virgo energy, okay? This is the internal work, the internal developments, the planting these spiritual seeds in your own soul, and what we're growing is basically this, right? So we're focusing on this inner light, we're focusing on this connection to spirit before we consider getting into another relationship, or, going down some of these different roads that we're going to have before us, right? So this is a little bit of a part of this kind of restorative period, this rest, this recuperation, that needs to go a little bit further into this spiritual internal work, okay? And I do like the Hermit energy because the Hermit is resistant to any of these pressures coming from outside. The Hermit is, when it needs to, it will conceal its light in that cloak, okay? And is inaccessible, So if this past person keeps calling you, you're inaccessible, right? You're not available. But this is also an inaccessibility to the energies of the world. We spent so much time, I think, in this energy of being against the world, of having this adversarial relationship to the rest of the world, that now we need to kind of disengage. We need to quit with that for a little while. In this Hermit energy, with this cloak being inaccessible, not really engaging in this animosity with the world, with this adversarial dynamic. We need to allow that to kind of dissipate, right? Before we can then re-engage with the world with a little bit more of the water energy, right? You can't just flip a switch and change the energy of that. But once we make some progress there, we've got this Fool waiting for us. And this Fool is really about the infinite ways that you can create, the infinite possibilities that you have for your life. And I think that this is such an exaggerated card, right? This is someone who just literally wanders around for eternity, just getting into one crazy situation after another, just on and on and on, right? It's like a book that never ends. And this is so exaggerated because of how I feel, how oppressed we were in this past thing, where you felt like you couldn't really make any decisions. You couldn't do anything on your own, or do anything maybe without this person. It feels that bad to me, okay? So we're getting this exaggerated Fool energy. This is saying, go do everything. Take in every experience that you can. It's like it's a real rebound from that oppressive Ten of Wands. But this is also kind of the agoraphobia a little bit. This is a wide open space. This air energy is not clearly defined. It's just really like an infinitely open field before us. And that's a sight to see. That could be overwhelming, It's this wide open space that's before us now. We have to get used to that. That is the wide open space here in a practical, manifested way that this Knight of Pentacles is easing into. Okay? But this is a more spiritual, energetic, a more abstract, wide open space that we have to kind of get adjusted to. And the Hermit is what needs to really adjust to that, right? The Hermit maybe doesn't quite really do well with these wide open spaces, right? So we need to ease into that. We need to ease into this freedom, really, right? This sudden freedom, I don't think it's very sudden, but for the illustration, this sudden freedom could lead to disasters, right? We could get into so much trouble with this freedom, And that's kind of represented by the tiger here that's latched onto the Fool's leg. This is kind of being fearless. This is being impervious to any kind of danger, which may be disastrous, honestly. If we don't have that alarm system within us to tell us when something is dangerous or we're getting closer to, to something threatening, we expose ourselves to risk. To danger, to harm. So we have to be aware of, that tiger that's still out there somewhere in the field. We have to be smart about things. We have to somehow narrow this stuff down. We have to kind of focus this Fool energy somewhere and make some informed decisions. Now, what we see next is some fire energy. There could be a fire sign person in your life or coming into your life, maybe sometime between now and the end of the year. I think a fire sign person is going to come into your life, and you're going to have a little bit of difficulty determining if they are that tiger. Right? Because I think the tiger for you is going to represent going back to this Ten of Wands situation. And we need time, and we need experience, and we need thoughtfulness. We need some discernment to really know, is this the tiger or is it not? Or am I just kind of projecting this fear, But I think within the next, what are we in now? April. So within the next, 7, 8, 9 months maybe, I think you're going to meet someone that is a fire sign. And you're going to have to kind of determine, be your own judge. If they are that tiger, or if they're not. Or if they are a good expression of this Two of Cups energy. Right? If the two of you are drawing from that same well, that same fountain of love and beauty and compassion and affection and nurturing, supportive energy. So it's that discernment that we need. And that's why I'm feeling that this mystery card is going to be some focused air energy. It's going to be some swords. Now, will it be an Ace of Swords? Are we going to have instant clarity? Confusion is gone. Are we going to have our thoughtfulness and our discernment just rise above the clouds and see everything for what it is? I would like that. I don't feel like that's what this is. I feel like this is going to be something that's a little bit more gritty, right? A little bit more down the tree. I don't think it'll be a 10 of Swords. I don't think it'll be a 3 of Swords. It could be a 6. A 6 of Swords maybe, but honestly I feel like it's going to be something like an 8 or a 9 of Swords. Okay? I think it's going to be difficult. I don't think it's going to be easy. It's going to be something that's still has that confusion, still has that uncertainty, still is not easy to see what things really are, right? We're not sure if this tiger is a figment of our imagination or if it's a real tiger. So I'm thinking 8 or a 9 of Swords. And it's a 9 of Swords. So this is a lot of discernment. This is a lot of trial and error, really. This is a lot of just being almost painfully honest with ourselves and with other people when it's appropriate. To try to learn how to see these opportunities, how to evaluate, how to judge, right? Almost expecting a justice or adjustment card here. But I don't think it's about the actual judgment or evaluation. It's learning how to do it. Learning when we are just being self-denying, learning when we are just being cruel to ourselves and putting ourselves back in the way this felt, right? Convincing ourselves that we are this codependent kind of thing again. Convincing ourselves that maybe we deserve that, we deserve less, right? So this is the discipline, the mental discipline that we need in order to be honest with ourselves, to be honest about the opportunities before us, the tiger. Is it real? Is it not real? And being honest with the kinds of things that we say to ourselves. Are we empowering ourselves, or are we still in this Ten of Wands mindset? And if we are still in this Ten of Wands mindset, we need to go back to the Hermit, do the Four of Cups, and get back to this sun, this solar energy. And then we can try again. Then we can go out into the field and look for the tiger. And then say, is it real? Is it not real? Or does it matter? You know? I mean, this is a lot of thinking, a lot of discernment, a lot of kind of sifting through all of the thoughts and tossing out what we don't need, strengthening what we do need. Okay? These are all daggers that have been used in battle. They are all bloody and they're just kind of chipped. They've had some experience, right? These have been well used. But do we need all of them? Are these all habits of thought that we are holding on to that are damaging to us? Are these things that are not going to work? You know, so there's a lot of considering that needs to be done, and that is where we can fall back on this Hermit, this Four of Cups, and this Sun energy, and then we can try again and go out into the field. We'll find the right sword. We'll find that Ace of Swords that'll show us what things really are. But I think we have to sort through these other daggers in our kind of in our knife roll before we find the right one. You know. Right now we're going to find the extended reading. So if you want to find it too, click on the link that's right up here, and then you can have access to all of the extendeds. Okay. This was your weekly reading, April 16th through 22nd on Dove and Serpent Tarot.